definition of insanity is. Insanity is doing the exact same fucking thing over and over again, expecting shit to change. I started seeing it everywhere I looked. Everywhere I looked, all these fucking pricks. Everywhere I looked, doing the exact same fucking thing over and over and over and over and over again. I'm sorry. I don't like the way you are looking at me. Okay? You have a fucking problem in your head. Do you think I'm bullshitting you? Do you think I'm lying? Fuck you! Okay? Fuck you!
Welcome to the journey of trying to beat my 100th demon. After a year of not playing the game, I decided to get back into playing this level, The Furious by Noble Boy. I was playing it last year and managed to choke at 74% or something like that, and didn't play the game for another year after that. So I thought I would come back to the level and explain my experiences of beating it, or at least trying to beat it. The level begins with some specific timings, but they really aren't that bad. Following this is a quick ship section and then immediately into the first drop. Now I would say the beginning of this level isn't that bad and the harder parts are at around 50%. There's some pretty tight timing and flying in here, but it gets pretty consistent after a while. And I found that after this short break, the level gets a lot harder, so I would say it's more back heavy. After some pretty tight flying, we get into what I think is the hardest part of the level. Now this wave doesn't look that bad, but it is at only one spot. Specifically this spot right here, next to the second portal on the dual wave. It's hard because if you tap too lightly, you'll die, and if you tap too heavy, you'll also die. So you have to go through there really precise. And it also seems to be way harder than the rest of the level. Following this section, you turn into a UFO which has some pretty tight and precise timings that you have to be spot on for in order not to mess up. The level then ends off with a pretty tough ship section at the end, if you're nervous. Nerves are a funny thing. It's strange how playing a Geometry Dash level my brain can equate to being literally dying. But this video is about the journey of reaching my 100th demon, and this was only my 92nd. So please enjoy the winning full run of the level as I showcase it off. And with that out of the way, I was able to beat the Furious by Noble Boy. I believe that this is a pretty fun level, just that the one wave part at like 74% brings it down a little bit, because it's the only part that's kind of inconsistent. After a while I did get into a rhythm which was sort of consistent, which was to go low up in that section and kind of tap it very lightly in order to get past more often than not. And with that I went to the menus to determine how hard I thought the demon was and check my attempts. I ended up taking about 4,026 attempts total, including both practice and normal attempts. And with that, I headed into the comment section to leave how many attempts I did, as well as the percentage to prove that I did it to the Geometry Dash community. And as you can see, the demon counter is at 92, which means that I only had 8 levels left to do. But I wanted the 8th one to be special, so the next 7 levels are all going to be about preparing me for the final one. Now these next 2 levels are both Michigan Temple levels, which are considerably easier than the level I just played. However, since it was a year since I last played this game, I wanted to do something easier just to get back into the proper swing of things. So since I don't have much to say about these next 2 levels, as they're not that difficult, it's just a lot of stupid mistakes, I'm just going to show off the both of them in the attempt count. Now this level really isn't that bad. It took me less than 400 attempts, which is pretty good for a medium demon. And I'd say that's about where it lies in difficulty. Now the next level is Lava Temple, which is the sequel. It's not really that bad either, it's just mostly a lot of memorization at the beginning and then some pretty chill waves. This ended up only taking me around 542 attempts, which wasn't that bad. Our next level is Dance Massacre Behinds, and I actually ended up struggling a little bit on this one. I ended up putting in about 1,000 attempts in practice mode before trying it normally. Now the beginning of the level isn't that bad, but I found some of the ball timings here can be pretty difficult. Now this wave isn't that hard, but I did end up dying here a few times. For me, the level gets at its hardest in its back with these tricky UFO timings. This attempt I died on, and it managed to be my highest for the session. The next 2 sessions I did at this level I didn't make any progress on until I got to the 4th session. The next hard part of the level for me is this robot section with really hard jumps, especially if you're trying to press lightly with a mouse. However, that attempt I ended up dying at a really easy part, which is very frustrating. On this attempt I managed to get past the hard section I was struggling with, and it was just a straight shot to the end. Yeah, so nerves are kind of annoying, huh? Anyway, in my next gaming session I ended up beating the level of this attempt, so enjoy. And there you go. This level really wasn't that bad, and it got pretty fun once I got consistent at it. And the level ended up taking me a little under 2,000 attempts. Oh, and to explain all the additional information there, I installed a mod that gave me better info, so it can let me see the amount of attempts I've done in practice mode and in normal mode, and as well as the percentages of the highest bests I've gotten. So going forward, all the attempts in the unknown category are my practice mode attempts. And to celebrate beating that level, I ended up getting a new icon. This little bob-omb. I figured since I struggled hardest with the robot section of that level, that I would upgrade my robot icon to something different. Besides, look at him. He's just adorable. Anyway, our next level is Theory of Everything 2 version 2. And again, I spent about 1,000 attempts practicing it. I actually found this level pretty easy, and there was only one part I struggled with, but I managed to find a way to consistently do it every time. Specifically at this wave right here. That first yellow portal I had some initial trouble with, but it turns out if you go up towards the top and then just hold down the button, you'll just fly right through there. And the rest of the level really isn't that bad, like there's a couple memory sections, but I found that the second wave is a lot easier. That ship section just there gives you quite a bit of room too, and then these timings aren't at all very difficult. This ship section I died in practice mode, but I didn't find it too hard to control your momentum with the portals. The UFO section is pretty easy too, same with the wave following it. Now the fact that I died at all there is really stupid, but if you watched closer you could see I jumped on the edge of the platform and skipped the first orb. So I just hit the second one and went immediately to my death. That part's not at all difficult, but I find it very sad that I died there. Now here's the full attempt, and while I'm here I should mention that Theory of Everything 2 is my favourite vanilla rod top level. And there we go. It really wasn't that difficult of a level, so the fact that I died at 97% makes me furious. Anyway, the level only ended up taking me about 1,000 attempts, so I actually think it's a medium demon. I think a hard demon, it's not that hard in terms of difficulty, and a lot of the space is really open and gives you a lot of room to work with. Anyway, only 4 levels left, so not too many before we get to the 100th. Our next level is Ultra Drivers by Laser Blitz, and this level is really fun. Ended up practicing it about 1,000 attempts, and it's just got some solid dual gameplay in the middle of it. I found that initially learning the level, I initially disliked it, but the more I played it and the more I understood how it worked, the more fun it got, and the more I ended up liking it overall. That being said, I'm not going to explain how the duel works because that's a lot of words and I can't be bothered doing that. Plus, I want to save that for a certain level at the end. On this level, I ended up getting to 62% in my first session. Purely because I wasn't pressing the button enough times. I did find that the most difficult part of the level for me was around 60%. Other than that, the level was pretty consistent. But at the end of this session, I had to go to work. So I had to stop playing and go to work. However, when I came back from work and decided to jump on and grind some more attempts, I ended up beating it really quickly. This death is the only time that I died this session, so I'm going to let the rest of the video play out in order to prove to you that I legitimately did just beat it when I got home from work somehow. Just look at that 2 attempt count. My god, I don't even know how I managed to pull that one out of my ass. Now, other than that, I found this level really fun and enjoyable. Took me only about 1200 attempts, but the song was really good and the gameplay was really fun once I learnt how to do it properly. Anyway, now on to this level, Crazy by Dav. I ended up spending around 700 attempts practicing it before I felt like I was ready to go for it in normal mode. Now this level looks awesome. It has some very difficult gameplay, and I found that with this level, I didn't like the gameplay that much in some aspects, but the visuals, my god, look at how fucking good they look. Now the reason I didn't like the gameplay is because of the awkward timings that this level has. They just don't feel very natural. And there's one part in particular I dislike. Specifically this part here. Those dash orbs are really hard to hit consistently, and I found myself dying there a lot. This is mainly because you have to press the button like perfectly. If you're too high up, you'll die, and if you're too far down, you'll die. So you have to hit it at just the right spot in the middle. Anyway, I found that the gameplay in the middle section of the drop was the most fun and most consistent for me, but I really liked the visuals at the start as well. Oh yeah, and I ended up dying at the end of the level quite a bunch of times, resulting in me having to go through that stupid dash orb section again. So I'm just going to skip over that pain and show you the winning attempt. Well, after I showed you that I died at this percentage right here multiple times. And the best part is that part's not even that hard. Anyway, here's the attempt for real this time. And there you have it. And now we only have 2 levels left to go. This level I ended up liking the visuals of quite a lot. It's just that one gameplay part with the dash orbs that I don't really like. But even the timings being awkward I didn't mind after a while once I got consistent at them. Anyway, it took me a little under 1200 attempts, and I wouldn't say that the level was bad. There's just parts of it that I don't really enjoy that much. Now the 99th level I chose was Theory of Everything 3, the unofficial sequel to Theory of Everything 2. Can you just tell I really like Theory of Everything 2 now? Yeah, probably. The thing I really like about this level is that it's really calm compared to most Geometry Dash levels. Like, the song doesn't go that crazy, or it's not like super hard dubstep or anything. Honestly, I didn't really struggle with this level too much. It only took me about like 50 minutes to beat when I went for it in normal mode. Yeah, I don't really have too much to say about the gameplay. It was pretty well balanced. So I'm just going to grab the attempt that succeeded and skip to the end, basically. Anyway, the next level is the real challenge of this video. So that's the level. It ended up being pretty fun, if I'm being honest, and I really like that the level was just calm for the whole thing. Like, it's not really a common thing you see in Geometry Dash levels at all. It only ended up taking me about 1,200 attempts, really. Not that bad. And yeah. But that was the 99th level. And now I'm on the 100th. So you might be wondering, what the hell did I do for my 100th? Well, I did this. That's right, Supersonic. Now would be a good time to mention that I've never beat an insane demon before, and this is my first ever one. Now I want you to guess how many attempts it took for me to practice this in order for me to feel comfortable going for it in normal mode. Go on, you can guess, don't be shy. Have you guessed? Yeah, it's basically 3,000. So if you don't know the context of this level, it's one of the older levels in the game, and when the time it came out it was so hard, it was considered one of the hardest levels when it was released. So I thought it fitting that for my first insane demon I tried to beat this level. Now I didn't find the beginning of this level too difficult, and it very quickly got consistent for me. Now the ball at around 20% is also pretty difficult, but it also gets really consistent after a while as well, just a couple of precise inputs. The wave in this section is also pretty hard, in terms of how precise you have to click in order not to die, but at the same time it's not absurdly hard. Following this wave section there's a hard triple spike jump with a speed portal hidden, so you have to time it precisely. This ship section also isn't that difficult, but it can look really scary. Now the following sections of the level are the absolute hardest for me. Look at how tight this flying is, and this wave here is really uneven and easy to press the button too early. Now this duel, it really isn't that bad, but it took me so long to learn it. So let's go into a practice period attempt and I'll show you exactly what you're supposed to do. So hold the button early, hit the orbs, hit the 2 blue jump orbs, hold down the button when you get to the yellow one, hit and the second pink one, and then hit to the next 2 yellow ones. God, and that was just one section of the duel. I found that the second part of the duel really wasn't that bad. You can just hit those blue orbs there really quickly, like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This next part is pretty tricky, where you have to get the ball on the top to hit a jump ring to go into the next section, but that's pretty difficult. I found that I got through that section a lot more consistently if I hit the button earlier, rather than later. And as you can see, if you hit it too late, you'll actually fly over the orb and not to be able to hit it at all. And if you hit it too early, obviously you won't make the jump. And then you go into a transition to a mini ship, which is really difficult. If you press the button too lightly, you'll die, and if you press it not enough times, you'll die. I found that once I got through the initial part, I was able to do the rest of it fairly consistently. Now this next wave part is actually pretty easy, it's not at all that difficult, and you have quite a lot of space to work with. Now this next ball part is fucking evil. And it's so evil, I'm going to give you a little quiz. Now I'm going to tell you what you have to do in this ball part, and you're going to tell me if you can remember. Up, down, 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 up, down. I told you that ball part was evil. Oh, and some of that ball has timings that you specifically have to remember for, otherwise you'll die. Now the cube following this section isn't that difficult, you just have to know what buttons to hit and when to hit them. Now the ship section is very hard because you have to go through these portals and very lightly press the button, because if you press it too hard you'll die, and if you don't press it enough you'll die. Man, what a not at all nerve-wracking part to put at the end of a level. Anyway, my next best ended up being at the 65% transition pretty much. I did expect to die here quite a few times while I was trying to beat this level, so I can't say I'm too mad about it because it's a difficult part. So the fact that I died all there is not surprising. Eventually though, I had this attempt, and I made it past a transition. Yeah, I died to the ball. Specifically because of those timings that I mentioned earlier. I pressed the button too early when you're supposed to press it a smidgen later. The good news though is that that's the highest fail that I got. So that means I can show you the full thing. And there you have it, my 100th demon. This level is super fun, but also super satisfying to beat. And it only took me 4,000 attempts, basically. For your first insane demon, that's pretty damn good. Now, as to where I'm going to go from here, I don't know. Maybe I'll beat some more insane demons. Maybe eventually I'll even beat an extreme demon. But now I want to relax for a bit. And I thank you as you join me in my journey to beat my 100th demon. Oh, look at how glorious that 100 number looks.